Alright, so I am back, and today we are going to do another rant of the week. So, before we get started, a few things real quick. For all you people that talk to me on Facebook, I'm not trying to ignore you. I'm having the same problem with work, but I dropped my phone. And it broke, and as you can see, everything below here, I can't see, and like I can kind of make some things out here, but nothing here. So it's like when I pull up Messenger. So let's see here. That's what I get. So it's like I can't see the messages at the bottom. I can't tell where it is. So it's like if you guys have been messaging me, I'm sorry. I can't do anything about it. I've been trying to get to a computer as quickly as I can to respond, but yeah, it's just not. I'm not very good at getting to a computer very quickly. I have an iPad, but that thing sucks ass. And my laptop's not the greatest either, so yeah, there you go. I should have a new one soon, so we'll be back on track. Speaking of tracks, current giveaway that's available right now is Road Rage. I started this one just because, I was kind of waiting for the Sun Searches to come in, and just to get something going, keep something going. And so, if anybody's interested in the Road Rage figure, I am doing the tickets, the giveaway tickets for that. They're $5 a piece. I have 13 tickets left. So if you're interested in that, the link will be below to the Facebook page so that you guys can get a hold of me there, and I can get you some tickets. I know it's not the most thrilling of figures, but it was a masterpiece figure, and I figure, hey, people might not be as interested in that as they are, other figures, but, hey, it's a chance to win a figure that you're, kind of interested in for, $5-10 or whatever. Also, I just got these in the mail. They came in yesterday, actually, but I haven't had a chance with work to really get into it. So we will be doing the giveaway on this tomorrow. So I've got 1, 2, and 3. So we'll be giving 3 of those away tomorrow. Just as always. And since the post offices are closed tomorrow anyway for Martin Luther King, hopefully we'll be able to get everything out on Tuesday. So if you guys are, if you guys entered that drawing, keep an eye out tomorrow, probably afternoon, evening-ish my time. I'll get it all squared away. As you guys also know, with the review schedules, I've got I reviewed the entire Combiner Wars Bruticus last week, so that those reviews are going to be going up in between other reviews. So tomorrow will be Sun Surge, Tuesday will be Vortex, I think. Wednesday, hopefully, a friend of mine is sending me another 3D printed Dinobot to take a look at. This one's in the Voyager scale, so we'll be able to take a look at that soon. So that's exciting. And then we'll go back to the Combiner Wars till through Friday, and just kind of go from there. So I mean, and that's one thing just to keep in mind. Those videos were done prior to the Combiner Wars Devastator review, so I might mention certain things about it, and I can't remember if I do or not, but I might say something like I'm excited to take a look at it. That's because I haven't actually got it when I did the reviews for Bruticus, but you guys have already seen the Devastator review, so you already know you know my opinion on those. Anyway, I know it's a little confusing to mention my timelines. Because usually I don't have anything else going on when I do big reviews like that, where I do a whole bunch of them at once. I don't have anything else going on during that week, so I can knock them all out. But I just have so much other things going on, and yeah. Anyway, what else? What else? Anything else to go over? I don't think so. Oh, real brief. Yeah, on my spoiler rant for Force Awakens, I mentioned, it was refreshing to see a lead main character. And oh my god, I've got a lot of hate for that line. I mean, really? People are saying like, oh, well, you're just a feminist, or this is anti-feminist if you think that. And it's like, what the fuck? I mean, all I'm saying is it's refreshing to see a girl in a lead Star Wars movie because we haven't seen that before. It's always the guys that are in the main lead, and the girls just sit in the back with their thumb up their ass. I mean, literally, it's like, what did Padme do in the third prequel movie? She just sat there, rumbling her belly. It was like, okay, yippee-doo. So it's like, I thought it was refreshing. If I'm wrong, who cares? I'm not a feminist. I don't care. I'm not an anti-feminist. I don't care. To be completely honest. I mean, I just don't care. All I'm saying is I thought it was refreshing to see a different, lead character, and I thought it was refreshing to see one of the main characters be a black guy. That's just because we haven't seen that. I mean, Mace Windu was in the prequel trilogy, but he was not a main character. Same goes with Lando in the original trilogy. It's like, he's more of a side character. So it was kind of nice to see new characters in these roles. That's all I was saying. I'm not for or against anything. I just don't care. I don't have the time to care about stuff like that. I don't rally behind that stuff, mostly because my mind can't wrap around the idea that it's not. Anyway, moving on to the actual rant of the week. This was by request. Somebody had asked me to do a rant of the week. New tattoo, by the way. Somebody had asked me to do a rant of the week on how to get started in Transformer reviewing. So I'm going to start this off by saying, first off, I am no expert at this. Not at all. So I am probably not the person to be asking this. But since I was asked, and since I have time to kill, I've decided, I'm going to go ahead and answer him in a rant of the week. So, I can't even remember who asked me that, to be perfectly honest, because I would look at my phone, but phone's toast. Anyway, so the first thing I want to say, second thing I want to say. The first thing is, obviously, I'm not an expert at it. My biggest advice to people that are thinking about getting into Transformer reviews is do not get into this thinking you're going to be the next big thing. Obviously the big ones are Piog, Imgo, Optibotimus. Those are the big three that I can think of. I think. You guys probably know better than me. I don't really watch any of the big guys anymore. I think Ben's Collectibles is pretty high up there too. But don't get into this thinking you're going to be the next big thing. I know Optibotimus makes, what was it, like $60,000 at least a year on his reviews. So he's able to quit his job. Same with Imgo. Don't get into this thinking that you're going to be that guy. Yeah, you could be someday, but not likely. So don't get in his thinking, okay, well, I'll get a few reviews out, then I'll get a few thousand subscribers, and then, someday I'll be able to quit my job. I'm going to sink all this money into this review thing. Don't think that it's very unlikely it's going to happen. A good example of that is me. I've been doing this 3 years at least, I think. at least 3 years, maybe 4. I can't even remember now. I'm closing in on 1,000 videos. But yeah, I've been doing this for 3-4 years, something like that. And I just hit the 1,400 subscribers. And then you look at somebody like Skullface. He's at, I think he's over 3,000 or 4,000 subscribers, and he's been doing this less time than I have. I know he was kind of a bigger name in the community prior, but maybe I'm not 100% on that. I don't I don't follow him. I know I've been doing my reviews longer than he has, and as such, it's just kind of like, and he's got more subscribers than I do. I've got more content than he does. It's one of those kind of things. It's like, even though I have more content and I've been doing it longer, I'm still not as popular as he is when it comes to subscribers. So and that's not me saying I have hard feelings towards anybody that has more subscribers than me. I'm just saying there's a good example. It's like, I've been doing it for a while, and I'm only at 1,400. I mean, I get maybe $100 from YouTube every 2 or 3 weeks. So it's not. Don't go into it thinking that you're going to be the next big thing, and that you're going to be able to supplement income with it. I think of it more as, every 2-3 months I get to buy an extra third-party figure for free. That's what I think of when I think about my reviews. It's like, this isn't paying the bills, but it gets me one more figure. So, yeah, why not? So that's my biggest point of advice there is that. Next thing is this is the next big one, really, is don't think of it as a job. Don't some reviewers do. I don't. But some reviewers do, and there's nothing wrong with it, thinking of it as, like that, in terms like that. But for me, the most critical part of my reviews for me is I have fun with it. I don't think of it as a job. I work insane amount of hours at my real job. So when I come home, I like to play with the dog. I like to sit down, play with some toys, talk to you guys. That's what I think of when I think about doing the videos. I'm having fun with it. So, have fun with it. Don't sit there and be like, oh man, I gotta do another review today. If you start thinking like that, just stop. It's not worth that stress that it can put on you if you're doing something and you're not liking it and you're not enjoying it anymore, because you start having the thoughts of, man, I have to do this again. Same thing. Same could be said about a real job, but a real job actually pays you. So it's like, there are mornings when I get up, it's like, man, I don't want to go to work, but I'll go to work because I have to pay the bills. If I have a day where I'm like, I'm not feeling so good, like last weekend, I wasn't feeling good. I didn't want to put you guys through me, sniffling and sneezing and coughing or whatever, or like when I there's so many stories with this, but like when I hurt my jaw muscles or when I burned my hand, it was just kind of like, I'm not feeling up to doing videos, so I'm not doing a video. It's just plain and simple. I just don't do it. I've been able to get out 7 videos a week typically. And a lot of times I'll have a backlog of reviews sitting there, like I do now. So it's like if I get sick now, I could rely on those for a week. So it's like that's my thought process there. But ultimately, like I said, think of it as you're having fun, and just have fun. That's what you got to do. If you start thinking like this is your job and you start dreading doing it, then just get out of it. Just don't do it. Simple as that. All right. So, let's see. So, yeah, have fun with it and don't think of it as a career. Next thing, I didn't do notes because, like I said, I'm not the guy to ask, really. I watched some videos on, things to do and not to do in Transformer reviews, and those get pretty biased, I think. One of the things, I can't remember who did it. I used to be subscribed to this guy a long time ago, but I haven't watched any of his videos in forever. But he said, like, don't break a figure on camera. I prefer to. It's like, if this thing's going to fail on you, I want everybody to see it. That's me. That's maybe not be everybody, but that's me. That's what I do. That's what I enjoy doing. I'd say be honest would be a good one. Not necessarily honest with general opinion of something, but honest to yourself. Because as soon as you start, as Zimgo put it, shilling, people are going to catch on and they're not going to enjoy it. Like if I were to sit here and say, this Megatron is the greatest Megatron ever made, and nothing will ever be built better than this. People are gonna think, oh, he's full of shit, and I am. I think it's a decent toy. I don't think it's a great Megatron, great collector's piece, let alone a masterpiece. But it's a good Megatron. But I'm not gonna sit here and tell you something else to try and sell it. And also, it's like I know this figure here is a better figure than this. I know. And I know the general population views it that way too. But for me, I like the Galvatron better because I'm a bigger fan of Galvatron than I am of Bombshell. That's just how, that's why I ranked him higher on my top 10 list. Is because I'm being honest to myself. I'm not sitting here like listening to everybody else's opinion on matters of my opinion. It's kind of a slippery slope too. But as soon as you get into that kind of niche where you're, if you ever get like a third party company saying, hey, check out this figure, and then if you give them a bad review or something like that, then they stop doing it, so you stop giving bad reviews to that company so that you can keep getting the figures. That's when I would get irritated with watching a video like that. I hate watching videos where it's like, oh, this broke. Just brush this aside. That's no problem. It's like, really? So yeah, there's that. Be honest. Okay, here's a good one. Play around. Play around with your review style and what you do in the videos. I think my big niche, I guess, would be my rants of the week and the fact that I hate things. And I'm very vocal on when I hate things. I'm giving figures the finger. I also don't edit my videos, so it's more raw. And I think you guys enjoy that. But try and play around until you find it. Because if you watch my earlier videos, I don't have rants of the week. I don't have, I'm not sitting there, flipping off a figure if I think it's crappy. Some of my earlier figures, I light things on fire and cut them in half with razor saws. I haven't done that in a long time. Last figure I destroyed on purpose, I think, was Acid Storm. The Deluxe Acid Storm. And I got some hate for that too. But, play around until you find that niche. You'll know when you get that niche, because all of a sudden your subscribers will go up, and hopefully it's something that you're enjoying doing. It's like I enjoy doing the rants of the week because, as you can tell in my regular reviews, I sit there and talk to the camera, and just talk and talk and talk and talk, and this is what I enjoy doing. So I'm not sitting here saying you need to do a rant of the week or trash talk a figure or flip it off or set it on fire or, you know, cuss up a storm, you know. But, you know, look at the different reviewers, you know, and you'll see why certain people are bigger than others. You know, Imgo's got his little sketches at the beginning of the movie, skits at the beginning of the review and at the end of the review, and he's also got Mascot. You know, that's kind of like his thing. Vangelis has incredibly good like videography, and he's also got the little scrolling text that comes up every now and then that generally insults him, which is pretty funny. Man, I haven't watched any of his videos in a while either. Skullface is pretty honest with his opinions, and his skits are also really funny as well. A different type of funny than Imgo, and more of a humor that I get, which is why he's always, ever since I started watching him, he's been my favorite reviewer. Optobotomist treats it more like a job, because it is his job, and you can tell that he's doing a lot of work to make sure that those things are everything is very well shown on the video. Every bit of the figure, every transformation. I think he started doing the, like, where he was able to zoom in on certain parts, like when he's talking about the head, he zooms in on it. Whereas, like me, I'm grabbing the toy, I was like, hey, look at this! You know, Piog, you know, he's got his own opinions on things as well, and he generally will get early releases of stuff too. So yeah, you just kind of have to find your own little niche in the reviewer community. You know, maybe you're gonna borrow somebody else's idea for a little while. You know, maybe you'll come up with your own great idea. You know, who knows? But chances are, anything you think of has probably already been done at some point. So you just kind of have to kind of balance it until you find that right little groove to make yourself unique. Because if you get on there and just say, okay, here's the figure, here's how it transforms, okay, have a nice day. You know, that's, you know, it's like, that's fine, but you're not going to stand out. Hopefully that makes sense. And hopefully I'm not insulting anybody that I know. I know a lot of people do that. A lot of people give their own opinions on the figures. Chances are, I don't watch too much reviews these days just because I'm so busy at work. But eventually I'll start watching other people's reviews. I think one thing people have been asking me to do is start reviewing reviewers. And I've been debating on whether or not to do that. Just do, like, you know, play it on the TV and do like commentary. Like, don't turn it that way, you're going to break it, kind of thing. I don't know. Anyway. Yeah. Kind of ranting off on rants. Anyway. Yeah, so let's see what else. I guess that's really it. I've got a couple pointers when you get into it. You know, definitely play around with lighting before you start doing things. Because like when I first started doing it, I just had a lamp. Now I've got 2 lamps with, or actually it's 4 lamps with the little bendable wires and stuff like that. I mean, I did not spend, hundreds of dollars on lighting like some people do. I just bought 2 of the lamps with the 2 heads. I bought those from Walmart, and I think it works great. Play around with lighting, play around with your background. I've tried different types of backgrounds, and some work, some don't. The one I'm using right now, apparently everybody likes, because I've seen quite a few people review with the backgrounds like that, so I'm trying to figure out something new. I was kind of like, I was a little irritated when I saw that, because I was like, hey, I was the first one to start doing that. With the Toy Hacks backgrounds, anyway. The first one I've seen. Anyway. Yeah, we can ramble on forever, can't I? Definitely do a couple dry runs with transformations before you start reviewing. You can watch some of mine where I botch it because I didn't do enough dry runs to really know what I'm doing. So do a couple dry runs. Also, here's one that every reviewer is guilty of, for the most part, I think. At one point, every single one of us have done this, and that's pay attention to the camera. I mean, seriously, how many times have you seen somebody like, okay, so, here's the, make toys reflector, and to transform them, you want to start doing this, and, turn this off, flip this around, and then you do this right here, and then it's, oh shit, was that on camera? Every single person has done that. I have yet to see anybody that's completely flawless on the transformation. At some point, somebody moves a piece out of frame, and so always try and pay attention to that camera. It's really hard to do. Once you start doing it, you'll see what I'm talking about, because you're sitting there, you're wanting to look at the toy like this, but you actually have to look at it like this through the camera lens. So that's something to be mindful of. Another thing is also the camera itself, not just looking at where the camera's pointed, but where the camera is physically located on your by your review station. So for me, it's always to my right. So it's like I'll be sitting like right here. The camera is right here. So I'm over here trying to review the figure. Well, trying to bend around the camera, or sometimes I'll reach around, but you got to have space for that camera. So sometimes you're trying to transform a figure at arm's length when naturally you want it like closer to your body. You can't always do that when you're doing a review. It just doesn't quite work. So you end up like this, and yeah, it's awkward. It's hilarious. Sometimes, because sometimes I'll be like trying to transform something, especially like the big combiners or something like that, where I have to push it further onto the desk, so it's like full arms length away, and I'm sitting there like this, and something will happen where it'll get knocked off or fall over, and I'm sitting there like, and you can hear it in my voice like, because then I have to get up. And, so yeah, just kind of keep in mind where the camera is. Keep in mind where the camera is facing, because I just caught myself doing it the other day with a Perfect Effect, the upgrade kits, where it's like, okay, this looks good, and then I looked at this camera and I was like, oh, hey, let me zoom out a little bit so you can actually see what I'm talking about. Yeah, and and that's the other thing. I would highly recommend not paying, if you don't have the equipment for the reviews, I would not recommend spending a lot of money right away on all the equipment. When I first started, I spent $200 on camcorder. That's it. And just was kind of going from there. Now some people, it will end up, I know like Optibotimus, his cameras are probably in the $2,000-$3,000 range, because that's how much really high quality cameras go. This one that I'm using right now is about a $600 camera, and I finally upgraded that after last year, actually. That's when I finally upgraded, was last year, and yeah, it took me a while before I decided, I do need to get a little better camera. Also play around with your editing software, but don't go crazy with it until you know that this is something you want to do. Is the big thing. If you go out and spend $3,000 on a good camera, you go out and spend a couple $100 on good editing software, and then you spend $1,000 or something like that on lights, another couple $100 on a background, and you start trying to do the reviews, and you realize this is not for me. Then you're just out that kind of money, and that's no, don't do that. Start small with your equipment, and mostly see if you're enjoying it, and see if your viewers are enjoying it, because the viewers are going to enjoy you as the reviewer more than they are the actual content. I learned that early on. It's like I could put out, a bunch of reviews, but then once I started doing the rants of the week, that's when I started getting more subscribers and people started like listening to what I say. And then when I recently started doing the viewer responses, when did I start that? Like last year or something like that. People seem to really catch on to that. And yeah, there you go. So yeah, stuff like that. I mean, like my rant of the week, that wouldn't have mattered if I had better lighting, because the lighting's all the way over there and it's off. I mean, I'm over here and I'm just using the regular room lights. I mean, and I sit in front of there. I mean, lighting wouldn't mean much, and a high def camera, all that does is show you my face better, which isn't always the best thing. Sometimes a little blurb for where my face might be a little bit better. So yeah, those are my biggest recommendations. And also, the last thing is, don't let the trolls bother you. You're gonna get trolls. It's not gonna not happen. You're gonna get trolls, and you're gonna get scammers. You're gonna get spammers. I mean, you're gonna get the whole 9 yards. You throw yourself out there on the internet, it's gonna happen. Part of me regrets actually doing this face to face, with my name, because I didn't, make up a name for this. Part of me regrets doing that just because it's like I kind of want to keep my personal life and my professional life separate, but it's too late now. I can't go back and change all that. So that's another thing you got to think about. Do you want to do this, face to face like I do, or do you want to do like skull face? Where's the skull mask? Nothing wrong with that at all. Like I said, I mean, I'm kind of wish I would have done that to begin with, but I didn't. So I'm dealing with the consequences of that here and there. Ultimately, you just kind of and deal with the trolls. You gotta brush the trolls off, because some of them will say the nastiest things to you, and some of them won't make any sense. And then you get people like C and Funny John who are great people, but they just don't make any sense sometimes with their comments. And you're sitting there like, what does he mean by this? And you'll get people comment on a video from years back and saying, hey, how come your opinion's different? And I was like, that was 3 years ago. My opinion's changed since then, but do I really need to explain that to somebody? Yeah. So yeah, I guess that's really it. That's all my advice. I mean, like I said, I am no expert in this field. I've been doing it for a while, but I'm not a huge I'm not huge with the subscribers. I'm not the biggest name out there. I would like to hope someday I'd be a name out there. And I think some people would say I am. Maybe not the biggest name, but I mean, name. That's all I care about. But yeah, just like I said, let's review everything. Don't think of it as a job. This isn't going to replace your day job. Don't think of it as a career. Have fun with it. Pay attention to where the camera's at. Play around with the lighting. Don't spend a lot of money on it. And be honest to yourself when you're doing the reviews. Try to decide if you want to be a reviewer like me or a showcaser like Piot. There ain't nothing wrong with either one. And there's not too much of a difference. The big difference is the fact that I give my opinion during the review, whereas Piot just shows you what the figure does. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Sometimes that's all I want to see in a video. Sometimes a person's personal opinion might be different. For example, a good example again is that Galvatron, because it's like, for example, Skullface just said that he did not like that figure at all. And I'm not going to sit here and say he's wrong, because I understand every flaw that he's pointed out in the figure. I see it. But at the same time, that's my favorite Decepticon. He's finally in Masterpiece form. Of course I'm going to love it. It's just what I do, with Galvatron, and Combiner Wars figures is like, I understand that some people like getting all the repaints and like getting all this stuff and that, but I can't stand them. I can't stand some of them. Like, Combiner Wars Ironhide, oh my god, I cannot stand that figure. I know my opinion's not the same as everybody else, but that thing is trash for me. So anyway. So yeah, there you go. I hope this helps. The big question is, what does everybody out there want to see like a new reviewer do? For me, I'm set in my ways. Don't try and change me. But yeah, just what would you like to see? What would you suggest? What would be your opinions on the matter? And we'll go over that as the viewer responses next week. So, like I said, I hope it helps. Hope this entertained at least. That's all I ever care about. I hope it entertains somebody. As long as somebody's rolling there. And yeah, I guess that's really it. And no, I did not mean seeing Funny John was a troll. I just all I'm saying is that sometimes I just don't understand what he's talking about. It's like, what? And I always end up laughing at it when I see the comments, and it's just like, what is he talking about? He almost always gets me to laugh. So kudos to you, seeing Funny John. I'm dedicating this episode to you.